Spencer Gallup, how are we doing, sir?
What's going on? It's been a little bit.
It has been a little bit, but we are back here. Episode 31 of the Scoop and Score football show brought to you by Ball N Beatz Media. Before we get into today's content, you guys should subscribe to the channel. You should hit that push notification bell to stay up to date on all of our new videos, shorts included. Go follow us on our
Yep.
Instagram and our TikTok page at Ball N Beatz Media. Links in the description down below. Shout out editor 2K Dyllie while we're at it as well.
Okay. It's okay,
Spencer,
dude.
NFL schedule release is here today at the time of this recording. This episode will be out before all of the schedules have been announced, but we have seen some important ones announced. The international games have been announced, the Thanksgiving slate, some rumors about Christmas Day has been announced. We'll get into that here. We'll also get into just some tea from college football because I think college football's in a little bit of a mess right now, if you will.
Yeah.
There's some drama going down south right now. You have college football playoff expansion, which I feel like has been a topic of discussion all the time. And so we'll get into that a little bit later on. But let's get into this NFL schedule for 2026. And nothing screams American football to start us off quite like watching the 49ers and the Rams play in, let me check my notes here, Melbourne, Australia. Yeah.
Sure.
Melbourne,
Why not,
Australia.
man?
Australian football's kind of fun though. We got to see that during COVID, I feel like, is when
Yeah.
that really kind of blew up. But I just you and I think most fans agree with the international games. Like it kind of sucks for the players. It sucks for the coaches.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
like the worst kept secret in the NFL. No one likes them. It's not necessarily going and experiencing those places aren't fun or anything like that. It's just the whole schedule around it. You're preparing for a
It's just a
football
hassle
season.
too. And
Yeah.
nobody wants to wake up at 9:30 to watch a football game. Like you experienced this last year, and then I'm gonna be experiencing it this year because the Lions have an actual really big game in Germany in Munich against the Patriots, which should have been a home primetime game,
Yeah.
and it got taken away. And that's another thing. It's like it's taken away another home game. So like it's in Munich, yeah, there'll be Lions fans there, but it's gonna be more of like just NFL fans. It's gonna be more of like just everybody kind of coming in together and celebrating, which is really cool. And it has nothing to do with I think the NFL should have games in internationally, but I think there should be a rule to like if you play internationally, you should have like a bye week either before or after it. And because it's a hassle. It's a hassle to get over 8-9 hours into Germany or Melbourne or wherever you're going. And then you got to get the travel plans, you got to get accumulated, you have practice days, and then all this stuff. And for the fans, it's annoying because that's one less home game for them to go see.
Yep.
And I looked at tickets just for the fun of it to see what it was to go to Munich for the Lions game. $3,000 round trip tickets to go to Munich.
Mm-mm.
So it's
Nah.
also not even possible for the average fan. So I think it's cool that they're having international games, and I'm not saying they should get rid of them. They shouldn't, and they won't. I mean, they're making a ton of money with it.
Of course.
It's just
That's what
very
matters.
annoying for the average or even that it's just annoying for the fan. The average fan who they want to go see their team, and most of the time that's even hard to begin with because tickets for your team if they're good are really expensive.
Yeah.
And that's a hassle as it is already. Um, but I mean, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna watch the game because that's my team. But do I want to get up at 9:30 on a Sunday and then or not well, technically like 9:30 on a Sunday, watch a football game and then be like, okay, it's 12:30 now. Um, I still got the rest of the day, which is kind of cool, but I don't feel like getting up in the morning on a Sunday.
Right.
That's not
Right.
me, and some
Not a
people
Sunday
are.
anyway. Yeah, not a
No,
Sunday.
that's the day to relax, just to watch football from 1 o'clock all the way until the Sunday night game. But players don't like it because they don't like the conditions that they're in. These stadiums that some of them, most of them are just soccer stadiums, and while some of them are in good condition, some of them aren't. Some of them haven't really been used, a whole lot.
Right.
Um, I'm gonna assume that the stadium that the Lions and Patriots are playing in is Bayern Munich
It
Stadium.
is Bayern Munich Stadium. Yep.
And I couldn't tell you one thing about that team or about their stadium. I just hope it's in good condition because I really don't need to see some injuries overseas.
Yes.
I don't need that.
I have a feeling at least the Munich Stadium, Bayern Munich's will probably be in decent condition. I would assume Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid, where Real Madrid plays, where the Bengals will play the Falcons in week 9, will probably be in pretty good condition as well. I've heard hit or miss about the London stadiums with Tottenham Hotspur and Wembley here and there. You never know what you're going to get over there. And you have 3 games in London like you do every year already, weeks 4 through 6. You have Colts versus the Commanders in week 4. You have back-to-back Jaguars in week 5 and week 6. They
And
play
those are both
the
home games.
Eagles. Yeah, they're both
Jags.
home for
Think
them.
about that. That's 2 home games that
Yeah.
they're losing. And I mean, they are gonna be they're playing in Orlando. Um, like, was it is it next year?
I think in 27, yeah.
In
Orlando
27?
because of the
Because of the
they're
new stadium that's being
yeah.
built. Um, and I would imagine they're gonna have 2 London games then. They might even have 3. Who knows?
They should just play in London for
They should just
27.
be in London at
Yeah.
that point. Um, but players have said they don't like it. Even they may have not publicly admitted it all the time, but like they don't. It's cool. It's a cool experience. That's what it
Yes.
is. It's a really cool experience, but it is inconvenient as hell. It is very tough on the players for international travel. Jet lag is another massive thing. You're going 8 hours across the world. That's
Right.
going to be a massive difference in time. And your whole schedule gets thrown off. Practices, eating, sleeping, all that stuff, training your body for these football games. And then right afterwards, you got to go right back home and, try to catch up on sleep. And then it's back to the next game. It's back to the next game week. Get ready on Monday or Tuesday. And I just hope that there's more precautions taken in these kind of games, whether it's a bye week after international games or if something along the lines of that. Because at one point, the NFL is going to expand more games. We're going to get 18 games.
For sure.
Um, and we're going to get, I think we're going to get 2 bye weeks. I do.
Probably.
I
That's what
think
it
that they're
feels
going to
like.
put 2 bye weeks. That's something I think is needed. I think it could be needed now, to be honest with you, 2 bye weeks. Because we're at 17 games is a grueling season. You see all the injuries that happen. International games might make that worse. Just with
They
everything that happens
absolutely
with
would
them,
make it worse.
throws off the players, it throws off the coaches, it throws off the fans, everybody. And at the end of the day, it's like it's not a it you for me, it's like it's throwing away a home game, it's putting the players at risk, all this stuff. But it's
Yes.
like I want to see my team play at home. I want to see them have home field advantage, especially when they have the seasons where it's 8 away games, 9 home games. The Lions have 9 home games this year. Technic Technically, but they only have 8 because of the international game. And it's also the fact that it is arguably the biggest, not the biggest game. It is the biggest out of conference game on the Lions schedule. You
Yes.
could argue the Bills game. Bills and Patriots are kind of on that same level. But it's the biggest home one. For the Patriots, the AFC champions coming in playing at home or playing in Detroit, or at least it was supposed to be. And now they're playing in Germany, which it's gonna be cool to watch, but I'm not like I don't really want it.
Right.
I just don't need to see my team out overseas, and I really don't feel like watching a 9:30 football game. I love football. I also love sleep.
We know you love sleep in particular. Um,
So yeah,
Honestly,
but I'm gonna
that's
watch
probably
it.
your
I'm not.
first
It's
love
not
is
like I'm not
sleep.
going to,
I think your
but
first love actually is sleep. Um,
no.
yeah, well, Jacksonville, of course, we just mentioned it. They have back-to-backs week 5 and week 6. They play the Eagles and the Texans back-to-back, which are 2 really tough
Two pretty good
opponents
games.
too. So
Yeah.
they're going to be very good games. But they're doing it right, honestly. It sucks to say that for I guess the fan perspective, but if you're going to do overseas games, you're going to do it in the same place and you're going to do it back-to-back weeks for those players getting accustomed to the
Yep.
time difference and everything. So, from that perspective, it's actually probably better that they're doing it that way. And I feel like they did this last year, if I'm not mistaken, too. I feel like they had back-to-back games in
Yep.
London. I could be
Yeah, they did.
wrong, but I feel like I remember that happening. Um, but we're at a place now. You have 9 international games. I remember when they first just had the London games. It was
Yep.
just in London, and now you have Australia,
Everywhere.
you now have Brazil, you have England, you have France, you have Spain, you have Germany, and Mexico this year. We have 9 total games. Outside of course, your Patriots Lions game. What's the game on this slate that you're looking forward to the most? Obviously, the week 1 tip-off
Week
game
1,
is
probably.
very enticing.
Rams and Niners is probably gotta be it for me. It's gonna be such a great way to kick off the season. The Rams are obviously a Super Bowl favorite, I would argue. They might even be them in Seattle in the NFC. Um, but like the Niners trying to come back from the season last year to where they lost in the division round of Seattle. I still think the Niners are a good football team. They have a lot of flaws. But the Rams are the most complete football team, I believe personally, and I think a lot of people believe as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that opens up. And I mean, Patriots at Seahawks, it's going to be the not the opening game, but or it's going to be that's the Wednesday night game, right? So that's technically the opening game. So that's going to be
They're
interesting.
throwing me off with adding Wednesday into some
Yeah.
weeks right now with
Yeah.
Christmas. Not Christmas, Thanksgiving Eve games.
Thanksgiving
Like,
Eve. Yeah.
don't get me wrong, the slate itself is
It's
is
like
fun. We'll
during
talk about
COVID
it.
when they had to push games to like
Yes.
Tuesday nights and Wednesday nights, and we're going to be having football games every single night of the week now. So
I mean, that I won't complain about necessarily, but I know it's got to suck for the player.
for the players, yeah, because it's like, oh, we got a game on Wednesday this week, and then
For
we
the
have a
fan
game
perspective,
on
it's like,
Thursday
oh
next week,
yay, every single
and then
day.
Monday, and then Sunday, and then Saturday.
Yeah, the back and forth is just it's not healthy. It's not healthy at all for the player. Uh,
The only day I'm pretty sure that doesn't have a game at all this season is Tuesday.
yes,
Every other day has as an NFL game at some point in the season. So
yes. I think for me, outside of those 2 games we've already discussed, the Ravens Cowboys in Rio week 3 would be a
that'll be
really fun one because I'm high on Dallas heading into this year. I think Dallas might have reset themselves a little bit for a possible Super Bowl window. Ooh, we'll get into that a little later on throughout the
yeah,
year.
we're
But
not doing this.
Baltimore's in a weird phase where it is year 1 under Jesse Minter, but it almost feels like there's a lot of pressure on Lamar's shoulders this year, and there's a lot of pressure
Yep.
just overall on that team outside of the head coaching and the coaching staff. So I think that game is going to be really enticing. I really do. I think the Jags games, the Eagles and the Texans games, are both. Those are 2 easily. Let me word this better. 2 games they could easily lose. Um, I don't know how I feel about Jacksonville heading into the year. I'm still kind of tossed on the
I
players
think
they've
they'll be
lost.
decent. But
Will
I
they
think
be
they'll
as
be
good as they
decent.
were
They
last
won't. They're
year?
not winning 13 games. They scream like 9-8 to me. 9-8, possibly 10-7, maybe a wild card. Um, I think that for me personally, I'll probably end up choosing Houston to win that division. I think Stroud's got to be better. He can't be this bad. He just can't.
Well, one,
So
he's got to be better, but that defense alone could
yeah,
win them the division.
yeah.
So I think that's part of it when it comes to Houston. I think the one game a lot of people aren't talking about right now, but I feel like they should be, is the game in Paris, Pittsburgh in New Orleans. I think that game has the potential to be one of the better games on the entire
It's
international
just two
slate.
teams that are like, do we really believe in these two teams? Do we know what Pittsburgh's probably going to be? I
Yes,
think that year one under Mike McCarthy is going to kind of just be like Mike Tomlin again, and I just
that's
don't
fair.
think that there's enough talent on this Steelers team to have them win more than 9-10 games. And with the Saints, I think I'm interested to see how Tyler Shuck responds to a decent rookie year. Um, how him and Chris Olave continue to connect now with them adding Jordan Tyson to that wide receiver core. That defense
Bryce
needs a
Lance
lot of
too.
help though.
They got Bryce
That
Lance. Their defense does. Although I feel like their defense is still pretty solid because I think Chase Young has kind of redeemed himself.
he's going to be Chase Young's a guy who's going to be a average NFL player. Average that He's not a number one defensive end. He's a number two, and he can be a decent number two. The
Yes.
Saints did whatever happened with Cameron Jordan?
He hasn't signed with anybody yet. He's still a free agent.
Wow. Well, you know
With
what?
these old guys, you always wait till like June or July to really see it sometimes,
I'll say
though.
he'll go back to New Orleans. Just for the heck of it, just because I think that him in any other jersey just doesn't seem right to me. I think the Saints will have a solid team, but I don't think they'll be over 500. They're like I think they'll be 7-10 again. They'll be a 7-10, 8-9 football team.
They're a team who I know I'm probably going to be higher on than you are anyway, heading into next year. Maybe am I a little bullish on them? We'll have to see when it comes around to that time when we
They
get
open in
into those
Detroit
season
week one.
previews. So
They open week one in Detroit.
we will definitely see right away if New Orleans is built for it. But is Detroit even that good this year? No, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you.
God,
I
I hope so. Or else there's going to be a lot of question marks with this staff,
fair, very fair. Um, I do believe in
especially
New
with the
Orleans a
roster.
little more than most people I think will. And I know that, to me, they're a team that could either win their division and
It all
possibly
depends
make a
on Sean.
divisional round or possibly even a conference championship game appearance. I'm not saying that will happen. I'm just saying they give
Whoa!
that vibe.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about?
Here's what I'm saying. To me, the Saints heading into this year give me the vibe of a team that's going to completely overachieve and go much farther than people think, or they're going to just be just as this exact same as they were last year. People forget they were the best team in the division the last month of the year, right?
They didn't play. They didn't.
They were the best team in the NFC South to end the
Oh,
season.
were they? Yeah. Wow. Okay. They won the
Record
slowest
rec,
person competition. How about that?
record wise, they weren't obviously, but they were playing the best ball out of anybody in that division to end the season. Tyler Shuck looked pretty impressive, and I think they have improved this team around him. I think they're a team to watch, to be a sneaky team, to jump up and be much better than you think. We have it happen every year. Look at Seattle, and you and I weren't high on Seattle. They just won a Super Bowl. So I think New Orleans is one of those teams. I think Tennessee is one of those teams to watch to take a big jump. There's obviously other teams that underachieved last year that I think can overachieve this year
Have you
potentially.
seen their schedule? The Saints.
Yes.
Have you seen who they play?
Oh, I know who they play.
Their home schedule kind of favorable. So they play the Falcons, the Panthers, and the
Yes.
Bucks.
Yes.
They play Green Bay. That's a loss. They play
Mm,
Minnesota.
I don't trust Minnesota, brother. I just don't.
No, I trust Minnesota more than the Saints
Mm-mm.
because I truly think that Kyler Murray could be decent with the Vikings, and the Vikings also have a great
Stop
roster.
it.
They have
They
the
do.
Browns at home. They're gonna
But
kick the Browns' ass.
okay.
Pittsburgh. I no, I think that the Steelers are a team that they can beat them.
The Steelers can beat
Arizona, they're gonna
anybody. That's the problem with
The
Pittsburgh.
Saints will beat Arizona, and the Saints will. The Raiders are that. See, what you think about the Saints is what I think about the Raiders. I think the Raiders are going to make a massive jump this year. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I think the AFC.
I think the Raiders are going to make the playoffs as a wild card. As a wild card,
Okay. All right. All right.
they're not going to
All
win the
right.
West,
All
but
right.
they're going to be the last team in. I think
See,
Mendoza is going to have a really good year, and I think him and Clint Kubiak are going to have a very, very good connection because I love the way that the Raiders are building the
I
roster.
think you and
Um,
I should make a way too early power rankings, like top 10 for NFL teams, just to set the internet on fire. I think that would probably be
We will be boots on the ground in New Orleans for Raiders and Saints
Raiders and Saints. That is the
at
B
the
and B.
Superdome.
See, we just figured out what the B&B Bowl is this year. It's the
Yep,
it's the Raiders
Raiders
and
and Saints.
Saints.
And then they play the Falcon. They play the same divisional games: Tampa, Carolina, Atlanta on the road. They play at Baltimore. Baltimore's going to kill them. They play at
Yeah,
the
okay.
Bears. The Bears are going to kill them.
Yeah,
They play
okay.
at the Bengals. The Bengals are going to kill them. They
Yeah,
play at
okay.
the Lions. The Lions should kill them. They play the Buccaneers, or not the Buccaneers. Then they play the Giants. And the Giants are the Giants to me are the NFC team I would watch out for. I think the Giants are going to make a big jump.
Everyone's saying that
But
about
that's
them.
true. That's true. That's not like
That's
the
the one.
Raiders.
That's the one that everyone's like, "Oh yeah, watch out for them." Who
That's
hasn't
fair.
said that?
That's
You
fair.
know. To me, there's always that one team that no one says that's gonna be good and makes that jump.
I mean,
That
I
they're
think
I'm not
the
saying
Saints
the
are gonna
Saints are
lose
officially
all
that
4
team.
games to the NFC North.
I'm not
The NFC
saying
North is gonna beat the Saints. You have the AFC North, who you might go 2-2 against. That would be my guess. So you're already at 6 losses, and you're not even
and
factoring
think
in any
about
of the
that.
6 division
Well,
games.
yeah, correct, because if they win those division games, they're gonna win the division anyway. It's the NFC South we're talking about here, Spencer.
Yeah, but
All you need is 6 wins, and
okay,
you're pretty
the
much
one
set
thing
for
I will
life.
say is they will beat Carolina twice because the Saints always beat the Panthers. It don't matter if the Saints are the worst team in football, they always beat Carolina. Atlanta, they will go 1-1 against, and Tampa Bay, they will go 1-1. So that's 8 losses. And you
And that's
still
pretty good
have
for the
the
division. They're gonna
Raiders.
win.
No, no, no.
I'm not fully sold on the Saints being my official team that's gonna be like much better, but they're one of the ones I'm circling. That's all I'm gonna say. There's a couple others out there, but I've got faith
I couldn't
in
tell you
Kellen
who
Moore. I've
though, to be
got faith
honest.
in Tyler Shuck.
Division's terrible.
I've got faith in Jordan Tyson. It could be just that I'm a Jordan Tyson propagandist, but that's
Oh,
okay.
you love this dude.
I do. I do love this
Love
dude.
Mr. Hamstring. God.
I love players whose hamstrings fall off the bone. Okay,
Off the bone.
those are my favorite guys because they're extra tender back there. You
You know
know.
what? When the Saints come into Detroit and they beat the Lions week 1, we'll come back and we'll say, okay, the Saints are a Super Bowl team. They're winning it all.
Everyone remembers how the
Tyler
Derek
Shuck
Carr
is
Saints
going to win
started.
MVP.
You remember the Derek Carr Saints the first 2 weeks, and everyone thought that they
Yep.
were like the best
They
team
went
that's ever
to
touched the
they
football
went to
field.
Dallas and just absolutely demolished the Cowboys. And then after that, they
Yes,
were the worst team in football.
yes,
Um,
yes.
no, no. I think the
Mhm.
Saints don't have nearly enough on defense, and their offense, their O line isn't amazing. They don't really. I mean, Taysom
Mm,
Hill is
mm.
Taysom Hill is still fun.
I think you're sleeping on everybody else on that roster, but that's okay. We're getting a little bit off track here, ranting about the New Orleans Saints, um, let's get back on track here, talking about the
Week
schedule.
1, baby. Let's go beat the
We're
Saints.
not who, yeah, yeah. We're gonna be boots on the ground in
We're gonna
Detroit,
be boots on
Michigan.
the go. We're gonna be boots on the ground at Ford Field to see the Saints come into Detroit and rip out my heart
That would be
week 1 and
hilarious.
say, I can't wait to say the season's over after 1 game.
We have to talk about the Thanksgiving slate though for this year because this
Yep.
Thanksgiving slate doesn't start on Thanksgiving. We already said that. It's Thanksgiving Eve. We got a Wednesday night game.
It's so
Yay!
stupid.
And
It's
then
it
we have a
doesn't.
Black Friday game at 3 o'clock as well. So Thanksgiving Eve, you have Packers Rams. What a game! Like that's the best game on the slate, I think, right now.
Yeah, I would argue it is because that's gonna be such a fun game to watch, and it's just weird that we have all these games on random do we really need a Thanksgiving Eve game?
No,
What's the point? Like,
literally, you have 5 games already before you even get to Sunday, and then you're gonna have a
yeah,
Monday night game that week
so, like,
too.
you're gonna have, like,
No
5
game.
1 you're gonna have 5 1 p.m.
You're
games.
gonna have like
You're
no
and
games on
they're
Sunday.
going to be the worst 1 o'clock games of the season. Every time,
We know
every
Cleveland's on the
Thanksgiving
list.
week at 1 p.m., that Sunday, the 1 p.m. games are the worst of all of the entire season because all the good teams have played, or if they haven't played, they're playing on prime time at 4:25. They're playing on Sunday night or they're playing on Monday night. It's gonna be rough, but I will say though, they cooked with this Thanksgiving schedule. I mean that Packers and Rams is gonna be. I wouldn't say I don't know. I still think that Bills and Chiefs can be a game. It's just what's going on with Kansas City with Mahomes.
Even if
Eagles
he's
and
healthy
Cowboys. Eagles and Dallas is easily going to be a fantastic game, and then Bears and Lions is going to be a really good
to
game.
start her
And
off,
we're going to lose because it's Thanksgiving, and they don't have
you broken that curse a little
Eberflus.
bit. You broke that curse a little
We
bit the
broke
last
it
couple
because
years.
Eberflus is an idiot and a moron and should be put into a mental asylum for keeping a timeout with 35 seconds left while the clock is running.
Yes.
Dude, I gotta tell you, when that game ended, and this is off topic, but it's when that game ended, I just sat there and just said, "What the hell just happened? We won the game, but what?"
Mhm.
And then the
Mhm.
day after, he got fired, and made sense. And then they took Ben Johnson away from me. So
And then they won your division.
Yeah, but we beat them twice. They're
And
0-2
and
against the
and then they
Lions.
won your
Caleb Williams
division.
is Caleb Williams improved to 0-4 against the Lions, so we'll keep that going next season.
Fair.
The Iceman can't beat the Lions, but
Lions are a
no,
little too
I just
warm for
remember
him.
thinking what just happened, but no, the Bears and Lions will be a great game. It'll be a rivalry game. Dallas and Philadelphia is a rivalry game, and I would argue Bills and Chiefs is a rivalry game as well. It's a newer rivalry, but there's a lot,
It's
and then
regular season. You already know how it's going to end. Josh Allen's going to win by like 30 or like 20. And then when they get to the postseason, if they ever have to play each other, actually, it really doesn't matter for the Bills at this point. Just any team who's supposedly better on paper, they're going to lose in the playoffs. Here's the thing: I don't know how I feel about Kansas City right now. I really have to sit on them a
their
little bit.
defense that secondary worries me.
Yes,
And
it does.
Mansour Delane, I think will be very good. I think he'll be a very good corner. Do I think they had to trade up 3 spots at the Browns to get him? No. But they did, and they got him. And it's still they lost both their starting corners. Their D line is getting older with Chris Jones, and George Karlaftis is still a good player. He's not like an all he's not a great player. He's a solid number 2 defensive end. He's a solid bookend guy. Um, Chris Jones is getting older. Nick Bolton is still very good. I mean, they still have some pieces, but the offense is going to be the biggest one. The offensive line is still not good. Travis Kelce was awful last year. I mean, he was terrible, and he's coming back again. He got signed to an extension.
Like a 3-year
Um,
extension, which was
their
like
their
what?
wide receiver core is still arguably really bad. They
It's
have Rashee Rice, and then maybe Xavier Worthy can take a step. I don't know. Their running game, Kenneth Walker is a fine signing. I mean, Kenneth Walker has never, to me, screamed like a really good running back. Like you got to watch out for this guy. I think he's a good running back, and he won the Saint or not the Saints. Jesus, talking too much about the Saints. He won the Seahawks the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl MVP with his 3 touchdowns. Um, but he's not a guy that just
3
screams
touchdowns.
or just screams at me. He's not the guy that just seems like, man, I don't know. And then their quarterback situation. What's going on with Mahomes? What's I mean, is Mahomes even going to be healthy when he comes back? Is he even going to be the same?
Justin Fields might be the starter week 1.
I don't see it. I really don't.
I don't know how I feel about Kansas City, man. I really don't know yet. We just gotta wait and see how things develop more in the off season. I agree with you on the secondary. I like Mansour Delane a lot. I agree. I don't think they necessarily needed the trade with Cleveland there to get him, but he is the best corner in the draft, I believe. So I think he will end up panning out to be a very successful corner in the NFL. Um, It's just that everybody's old, and you have teams like Denver, who is ascending. You have
Yep.
teams like, which I know that they always seem to bite the bullet when it matters most, but the Chargers, if they are healthy. In fact, if the Chargers are healthy next year, I remember last year I said they would win the division. I really like the direction that they're headed again. Not throwing it out there right now, but way too early. That's probably what I would predict to win a division is the Chargers right now. Um, and the Raiders. Everyone's getting better. Everybody is getting
Yep.
better in the division where the Chiefs are just getting older. And
Yep.
it's not that they're not getting better in certain spots, it's just where they're getting worse at the same time.
They've lost talent.
Yeah.
I mean, they traded away Joe Tooney for a 5th-round pick to the Bears, and he won the was the NFL Protector of the Year or
Yes.
whatever that
First
award is.
ever award that they did for it this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right away. A 5th-round pick for the best guard in the league. So, I mean, and then they got rid of McDuffie and Watson and those 2 corners. And, Mansour Delane, we think is going to be a very good corner. He's a rookie. He's going to have times where he plays like a rookie. I do think the Chiefs to me scream like the dynasty's done. I really do think that they hit their peak, and I think it's going to be downhill. Do I think that they're going to regress to be awful? No. As long as they have Mahomes on their roster, they will have a chance to make the playoffs and to win that division. I just like you said, the teams around them. I think all 3 teams, other 3 teams in the division are better than the Chiefs right now. I know it's saying crazy with the Raiders. I believe more in what the Raiders have built around Mendoza and have added to this team than I do with what the Chiefs did in the offseason. And a little bit
Yeah.
of that has to do with the uncertainty of Mahomes when he comes back, whenever that is with that leg injury. And Justin Fields, I mean, this we've gone through this whole thing with him. He shows flashes. I love Justin Fields. He shows flashes and then he does stupid stuff. And then he can't throw the football. And then he just runs it. And he's essentially just another running back. Um, but Kansas City, I think they finished last in the division again. I really do. And I don't know if that's like a really a bold take. It's just saying it. Saying it again. Saying Kansas City is gonna do it again
Well,
is
they weren't the
just
Raiders.
doesn't feel
They
right.
weren't the Raiders bad last year, of course, but
No, they weren't. But like,
they could legitimately finish last this year for real.
yeah, yeah.
We have more rumored schedule release games out there, but we won't dive into any more today. As we will see later tonight, obviously this episode will be out beforehand. We'll dive into more next week a little bit because I want to pivot over to college football and the drama that has been going on over there. The last couple weeks, I feel like all the talk has been about 2014 playoff, 2014 playoff, 2014 playoff. Reportedly, the ACC and the Big 12 are aligned on the thinking for a 2014 playoff, as well as the Big 10. The SEC and ESPN are like, no, we do not want this. But you're getting more and more of a consensus. The AFCA themselves, which is part of the Coaches Association, also threw out their recommendation for a 2014 playoff. Spencer, I think you and I both agree on this, and I think the vast majority of people out there who love college football would agree with the fact that a 24-team playoff is absolutely ludicrous.
Just stop effing up things that don't need effed up. Same thing with the college basketball tournament. That's now at 76 game or 76 teams. It was perfect the way it was, and you went and you screwed that up. And now you're going in and screwing up college football because of more money. That's all it is just more money, more sponsorships, more games, more all this. And the fact that we're going to have 24 teams in a college football playoff is unbelievable. That's just, dude,
You just that's just
I
what's going to happen.
remember BCS. It was two teams. It was the top two teams, and we had conversations like maybe we should bring in a couple teams,
Mm-hmm.
like four,
Yeah,
and because there was so many much better teams and a better way to decide it than the top two teams, because sometimes it wasn't always the top two teams.
right.
Um, and then we got the 14. The 14 was perfect. That was it. That should have been the end of it. You had the top four teams in college football most of the time. That was pretty much it. They were the top four teams.
Have the arguments.
You could lose one game and not even make it. The
Yeah.
regular season mattered with the four team. Now you could lose four games in the SEC and you'll have a shot to make it. It's in the 2014 playoff, absolutely. You'll see an 8-4 Alabama make it in now, or the 20th seed, or however they're going to do it. Who knows? I mean, we had a 3-loss team make it in last year, and that 3-loss team lost to a 5-7 Florida State. Is that what they finished
Yes,
as?
5-7 Florida State.
Yeah, like in rightfully so. And Alabama did win a playoff game, and then they went
Mm-hmm.
and gotten the absolute doors broken off of them by Indiana, as most teams did. Um, we've lost the plot, dude. It's sad because I love college football and I'm still gonna watch it. It's just sad the way the what it's becoming into. It's just a money grab. NIL has, and I believe in players getting paid, but NIL's ruined it a little bit as well. With you having players that haven't even touched a football in
They
college
lost the
football, they're
plot because
making
they didn't
millions of
structure it.
dollars. They're making millions of dollars, and yeah, and they're not gonna, and it's not gonna happen because it's just things and stuff like, oh, here's money, here's money, here's money. You got all these donors who just throw their money and burn it, and then see what happens with it. You had Penn State who had a $30 million roster to go 6-6 last year. You're having Indiana who They are, but it seems like Indiana who are thriving off of NIL because no one would ever go to Indiana without NIL money. Now everybody wants to go there because of Signetti, and he's created a culture there, and they won a national championship, and they're going to continue to be pretty damn good. A couple years ago, when it wasn't a factor, and when you had to recruit, no, I mean you don't even have to recruit anymore. Just attack the transfer portal. You don't have to recruit these freshmen coming
Yeah,
out of college or coming out of high school because if they end up being good, they're going to transfer. If they end up being good at these lower level schools, they're just going to enter the transfer portal and you can pick them up. You don't have to do it.
right.
Go get the guys in the portal. Indiana has done that and they've recruited a little bit. They've attacked the transfer portal. And I think that's the way to go. It's the way you're going to win. And
Some teams do it and they
it's,
struggle though. Like Florida State's a team who's been doing that and
yeah.
they've kind of struggled. You know, you
But
have
Mike
to
is
have a
Mike
happy
Norvell the
medium.
guy? Like you got to have the right head coach too. Mike Norvell, I don't think is the guy down there.
Right.
He had one good year where he went 13-0, and they had an unbelievable situation happen where they didn't make the playoff. Would they have lost to Michigan that year? Absolutely, they would have lost to Michigan in the quarterfinals, or not the quarterfinals, the semifinals. I'm sorry, in that game. But it's the fact that ever since then he's been a dud, and Florida State. But that's besides the point. The point is being that it's all for money now. We don't have a commissioner who is taking care of, budgeting NIL. You can just throw money wherever you want. You have a bunch of seniors coming out of high school who are making millions of dollars and they haven't touched a football in the collegiate level.
Mhm.
And it's sad. I don't know. Like because you used to be able to and you still can, and I'm not going to say that, like you used to be able to like connect to players in college football like on your team. Like for Ohio State fans, you can connect to Jeremiah Smith because he's been a Buckeye since day one. He's been there and he's going to be there. He's going to be drafted. All those guys that stayed, those 4-year seniors who won the national championship with Ohio State, you connected with those players because they were all 4 and 5 year 5th year seniors who've been through the ringer, who didn't beat Michigan, who needed a way to go out, and they went on that run to where they won 4 playoff games and won the Natty.
Yes.
Now you got it's like you got 1 year with a player, then you have 2 years with this player. You have a 1 year quarterback. You can't connect to these guys, and that might be just a weird thing that I liked as a kid. I loved connecting with like
I think
teams. Like I,
that's a
my
true
favorite,
college football fan. I think that's what most of us really loved was you got into the high school recruiting. You got into that and you got to see, oh, these guys, they might not make the impact right now, but when they're a junior and senior and they've been through that ringer of the transition from high school to college and everything, that was
like
what
when
made
I
college
was,
football great.
yeah,
Or
when I
one of
was
the
grow,
things. There's a lot of things, but one of the things.
when I was growing up, one of my favorite Buckeyes was Carlos Hyde. I just loved the way he played. He was a fantastic running back. He was a bowling ball, and he was a Buckeye through and through. You're not going to get that with most teams. I would actually say Ohio State is kind of an outlier. They do attack the transfer portal. Most of their guys do stay. But just say like this, if I'm a fan of a lower level power four school, you know what? Cincinnati, like with Brendan Sorsby.
Whew,
He did transfer from Indiana, and he's got a whole lot of stuff going on right now that we don't even know if what's gonna happen with him.
that boy's going in the
You connect with
supplemental
him
draft.
just
That's what
for
it
him,
feels like.
just for
That's what
him
it
to
feels like.
leave. Um, if you're a fan of a group of five team, your best players are gonna leave.
Unless you're
We're
called
we've been
Toledo.
blessed. Yeah, we've been blessed as Toledo fans to where they've stayed. They have stayed and been loyal to the school. And that's not true for all these colleges. They leave like that. They enter the transfer portal. There is no loyalty. You try to connect with these players, but the problem is that when they're making so much money and they are transferring left and right, and you got guys who are transferring to multiple schools, three, 4 schools, it's like, what are we even doing now?
I do
Well,
believe
what's the point? Like,
I mean, they got the U.S. government involved in stuff where, I mean, I don't know if anything's actually fully set in stone there where they signed into things where you could have only like a one time free transfer. After that, you'd have to sit out a year or whatnot. I'm a component for that. I think players should be allowed to transfer, you know?
100%.
They should be
But
allowed
you
to
don't
transfer. You don't need to
1 or
transfer
2
4 or
times.
5 times.
Yeah,
You don't need to
1
be
or
a
2
TJ
times is
Finley.
fine.
You don't need to be a TJ Finley.
No.
And to be fair, I do think the COVID pandemic played a lot into what we've seen in college football anyway, because a lot of people got these extra years of eligibility
It's fair, but we're past
as
that.
well.
That's 6 years ago.
I know, but you
We're
got to think
past
about it.
COVID. It's been 6 years.
You had some players that who were still there and had that extra eligibility already still
Yeah, but
here.
it's
And
but
now
I'm
it's gone.
saying, yeah,
Now it's gone.
it's been 6 years since that happened, and you had players who did get that extra year, but now that excuse is done. Like, it's been 6 years since COVID. We've had the years and stuff that the players have gotten, the extra years. I completely agree with you. 1 to 2 times transferring is completely fine. If you don't get the playing time you think you're deserved, I 100% agree you should transfer to a school that you'll get playing time to. But when you got players who are transferring left and right, and you got a guy who's transferred to 3 or 4 different schools, he doesn't know what degree he's going to get in, even if it is a degree at all. And you got guys who are on their 7th or 8th years of college football because of knee injuries and all this. It's like, okay, you're not going to get drafted to the NFL. You're not going to do anything. What are we accomplishing here? You're a 24-year-old, 25-year-old. This is year 8 or year 6 or whatever year it is.
Yeah.
Why are we continuing this?
I'll
What's
I'll
what
I'll
is
tell you
the
what it
what is the
is.
point for you to get 10 catches for 100 yards and to maybe see the field a couple games a year?
I'll tell you what
Eh,
it is, Spence. For some of these guys, it's that it's all they've ever had, and the fact of them wanting to still have that as long as they possibly can. You know what I mean? Like for some of these guys, that's all they had growing up. It could have been the one thing that saved them, you know? And for them to possibly lose that, like it's hard. It's hard when you have been through things or you've done something for a long time and it's what you've known. That's a scary world out there. They don't always tell people that, you know? When you've been so used to doing the same thing over and over, it's the one thing that you love more than anything. The fear of losing it is a real thing. And I think that's part of it for some of these guys. Obviously, you've had the medical concerns with some. I mean, you had Cam McCormick play 9 years of football, 8 years of football. The tight end who was at Oregon transferred to Miami. He had 4 ACL tears. I, I I get it with certain circumstances, but I do think after a while you just kind of have to look in the mirror. And I understand perseverance. He persevered. He got through it, and he did good for himself. Um, it's just every circumstance is different, and there's just it's the lack of structure overall the entire sport in almost every facet of it, whether it be the name, image, and likeness, whether it be eligibility, whether it be just overall roster building. There is no structure whatsoever in almost any capacity at any level outside of the head coach at any program. And that's the issue we have with college football. And with the 2014 playoff, want to go back on that topic here. I just think that is just the biggest sign of where we're at right now and what you've said with it being a money issue, with it being, people who are in charge of college football don't care about college football, they care about the money in their pockets. And of course, nothing's official. We have that gut feeling. It's going to happen, right? Like that we're
yeah.
at this place now of I feel like a point of no return where 24 teams is going to happen.
Yep.
I've come to that conclusion.
Yep.
And so the structure of it, it's whatever. I will say this. I thought the 12 team the last 2 or 3 years, it's 2 years. I thought it's played out fantastically. I think the 12 team was the best format, personally. Um, yeah, the 4 team worked. I wasn't mad about the 4 team playoff. I liked the BCS era. If I could, I'd go back to BCS personally. But I think if you're in a playoff structure, you can't go back from where you're at. To me, the 12 team has done much better than I think a lot of people who were against it thought it would. And I'll say this, I think almost everybody from a fan perspective is completely out on a 2014 playoff. I've
Yep.
never seen so many people be
I haven't
so
seen
against
anybody
this.
for it, to be honest. I like looking through.
Danny Cannell might be the only human being on the planet who's for a 2014 playoff, just because of Florida State getting stiffed. That might be it. Other than that, I couldn't tell you.
Because it's not necessary. And you can say what you want. Like you're in favor of the 12-team playoff. I'm not. Like just because of we've gotten a couple good games, but like
We've gotten very
there's
good
also
games.
there's also been like a lot of blowouts in these games. Like
There wasn't the 14 playoff. That's the issue. I think to me that was a moot point because you still had a 31-0 Clemson over Ohio State. You still had I'm trying to remember you had the LSU Oklahoma game, 63-28. Average
yeah, I mean
the
you're
average
gonna have
wins in the conference semifinals in the 14 playoff, the average win total was by like 18 or 19 points. You're still going to get these blowouts. It happens in the NFL playoffs too.
you're gonna get the blowouts no matter what. It's just better teams who play better at the right time.
Yeah.
I just think that my whole reasoning was the group of five has no reason being in the playoff just because it's the blowouts and it's like,
Oh,
do
we
these
know
teams
you don't
really
believe in
belong?
the group of 5.
I
And I'll
love
tell
the
you
group of
this.
five, but I don't need to see Tulane and Ole Miss where I already said where I already saw that at the beginning of the season.
Mhm.
Same result as it was in the playoffs. I
Uh,
don't need to see James Madison go to
yes.
Oregon just to get absolutely boat raced and kicked in the face. And yeah, they put up points, but there was garbage time, so who cares?
Right?
Um,
And I will tell you
and
this
just to
too,
be fair,
Spence.
the LSU one that you said that's an all time team. Like that's 2019 LSU is an all time team.
Those were just ones
That's
that came to my
I
head, but there's still others out there, brother. That's not the only one I was thinking of.
and that Clemson team that won the national title. To be fair, and that national title against Alabama was one of the greatest games of all time. Like that was that back and forth game that
Yes.
ended with 3 seconds left.
Shout out Hunter Renfro. Um,
Um, I but back to the 24. No, I like it's a joke.
it
We
is.
don't need this. It's an absolute joke. There's no need for it. There's absolutely now it's so like we've basically the regular season means absolutely nothing.
Which was the
Doesn't mean a
biggest
damn thing
which was the
because
biggest thing about this sport compared to any other sport was how important the regular season truly is the regular
yep,
season. It
because
it it
back I
values
mean
it.
back in BCS you lost one game. You were
Cooked.
basically hoping for a miracle. And the 4 team, which I think was perfect, if you were really good, you had one game, you had one loss to work with, and you better not have gotten blown out. Pretty much, you better not have gotten a bad loss, or you better not have gotten blown out because you would have been out just like that. Look at was it USC in 2022 when OSU made it in, and they didn't even, and they had that loss to Michigan.
Hmm.
USC lost to Utah in the Pac-12 championship and got kicked out because of it.
Yes.
And they would have made it if they won. Um, but 24 teams is way too many. And we've talked about it. It's the fact that we don't need this. Nobody wants this. Like, I don't know, man.
Nobody who actually likes the sport of college football and who wants the best thing for the game to happen actually want this. It's the people that control the
People that
money.
want money. Yeah, it's people that want the money. And it's sad. That's why I said like
Yeah.
the sport is just money now. And
And
to
here
be fair,
one more point.
most of them are. Oh, actually all of them are. But
Yes.
like college football was that one that it's like, man, I can connect to this. Like the regular season matters. I want to. I know these players. They've been here since freshmen. They've developed. They're stars. They're going to get drafted. Let's go win a national title. Now it's like, whoop de doo, money. Here's a million. Here's a million. Here's a million. Here's a million. Like, there's no structure, and that's the biggest issue with college football. And until we get structure, it's going to continue to get worse.
Right.
The product's going to get worse. Like Ohio State versus Texas this year, it's going to have some juice. Not nearly going to have any juice as it could have been. Um, like even with a 12-team playoff, both these teams are probably going to make it. I mean, I don't know, man. It's sad. It's really sad what's happened to college football. It's gotten worse and worse. It really has. And at some point, it's going to get to a point where people are like, okay, like it'll be something that there's diehard college football fans, but there's going to be a majority of people that are just like, okay, I'll throw it on. We'll see what happens. I mean, my team's going to go 8-4 and still make the playoffs. So I'll just wait till then. So
I will say this one more point about the 2014 playoff. I know you are anti G5 in the playoff. I actually think a 2014 playoff would be worse for the G5 than a 12 team currently is. Because the 2014, you're just going to have arguments over an 8-4 Texas, an 8-4 LSU, an 8-4 USC, and they're always going to get that benefit of the doubt over one or two G5 teams who will probably be at most for a G5 team. I think a lot of people think, oh, you get more chance for more teams. It, do participation trophies, like, I'm over the participation trophies, okay? And I will say this about the 12 team format. I think it's perfect because you have the Miami, you have Ohio State of last year, where Miami, they deserved to make it. I don't care what anyone says. They deserve to be in over Notre Dame because they beat them head to head. When it came
Yep.
down to those two, Notre Dame, if they just win one of A&M or Miami, they're in the playoff. It's a moot point. But Miami got in, they deserve to be in, and they went on that run. There's still teams who are good enough nowadays in college football with the lack of structure who do have losses who are still good enough to go on a run and go win a national title. If Miami, if that game-winning series at the end of the game went differently, Miami could have been hoisting the trophy. You know, they were only down by 6. They could have had a game-winning touchdown drive.
They were driving.
So,
They were driving down the field, and then Beck turned into Carson Beck. But
and then Ohio State went on to win the title in 24. They had 2 losses. They weren't perfect, but that was a good part of the story, you know.
yep,
I think
the
when you
loss
get
that
to
they don't win the national title
right,
if they beat Michigan. Simple as that.
when you get to 24 teams, you're almost taking away
Any story at all.
any story because it's like, okay, like an 8-4 or 7-5 Ohio State somehow is in at 23 or 24. Respectfully, if Ohio State's that bad, I don't see them going on a run in the playoff. Probably not. But
I would hope not.
but then you're taking away just so much of like the urgency of being at least good enough. I think that's where the 12 team format is at its best because not every 9-3 team should make it. Alabama made it because they already were playing in their SEC title game. They didn't hurt them because they made their conference championship. Now, if you go to 24 teams, it sounds like conference championships won't exist. That is
That's
what it sounds like. They shouldn't.
no.
They shouldn't.
It'll just be the top team in the conference. And here's another thing that's been ruined because of the playoffs: the bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, not a single person cares about these bowl games.
I care about the
Not a
Pop Tart
single person.
Bowl. I care about the Myrtle
That's
Beach
actually
Bowl.
you know what's funny you say that? That's the one game that that's kind of funny to watch just because of the ending, and it actually was a really good game this year.
I care about the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Okay.
Um,
I care about
well,
the
you're a
Puerto
diehard
Rico
college football
Bowl.
fan,
I care
but
about the
like
Puerto
the
Rico
average
Bowl.
fan, a majority of fans don't. You know, the Rose Bowl used to mean something. The Cotton Bowl used to mean something. The Sugar Bowl used to mean something. The Peach Bowl used to mean something. Orange Bowl, all the bowl games, especially the Rose Bowl. Now nobody gives an F about the Rose Bowl. It doesn't matter. It's a quarterfinal or a semifinal game. Nobody cares, and it's sad because and I will go to the Rose Bowl at some point just to experience it. I'll get to see Ohio State playing it at some point. Um, but the playoff system, the way it's formatted now, has ruined it. It's absolutely ruined this, and it sucks because I grew up loving watching the Rose Bowl. I mean, so did every college football fan. That's not nothing new. It's just
Stanford, Iowa, Oregon, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Stanford,
Michigan State, Stanford.
Penn
Like,
State, USC,
yeah,
Ohio State, Oregon. Shout out Jeremiah Masoli. Shout out
yeah,
Terrell
yeah.
Pryor.
It's sad, man, because like that game used to mean something, and now nobody cares. I mean, you win the Rose Bowl, you're just looking forward to the next game. Okay, cool. All
Yeah.
right, let's go. Like the Rose Bowl trophy used to mean something. Winning the Rose Bowl used to mean something. Now it's just like, okay, like this year, it was a quarterfinal game. The game was over at halftime. All right. I will say this year might have been a little different just because of Indiana, just because it was their first Rose Bowl like over 50 years. But like, Ohio State, Oregon 2 years ago, neither of those teams cared. None of them, neither of them cared. They just wanted to go on to win the national title. Or, to be fair, they want to go on to the semifinals in the Cotton Bowl. And that's another bowl game. It's just bowl games have been ruined with this new age of college football, and it's sad. I honestly fully think that we should just have on campus games until the semifinals.
I agree.
Have on campus games till the semifinals. You can have two bowl games then the Natty. I do think that like if you would get some teams like if the Rose Bowl wasn't part of the playoff one year, I do think there's something to be said about teams would actually play and they would try. Same with the Peach Bowl, same with the Cotton Bowl, because those are the big games. Whatever two, bowl games they have as a semifinals doesn't matter. The other four, I do think there's something to be said these teams would try just because of what it meant and what it could mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially the Rose Bowl, because like if you got a team that's never been to the Rose Bowl and they go and it's not a playoff game, they're gonna go. I mean, there's gonna be fans that go just to experience Pasadena, to experience the Rose Bowl, see the Rose Bowl parade, all the festivities that happen around it, to see the backdrop of the mountains, especially the sunset, which is the coolest part. When the third quarter is ending and the fourth quarter starts, and that
Yes.
sunset, it's the coolest part.
And the realest problem now with the Rose Bowl is they've moved up the
They
kickoff
moved the
time
time. Yeah, they
to
moved the
4
time.
instead of
So
what,
now it's so
5:45, 5 like
yeah.
whatever it was. It was like somewhere around 5.
It was like 5 or 5:30, and
Yeah.
when the fourth quarter started, the sunset would go over the mountains, and it was the coolest thing in sports. And now I mean, at the game when the game ends, you might get it, which I guess is cool, I guess, but it used to mean a lot more than what it did. I
Yes.
mean,
Absolutely.
so
One more thing we have to talk about before we get off here. There's a lot of drama down south right now. A lot of tea, if you will, what the Gen Zers would say. Or millennials. Some millennials, I guess, would say that too. You have some teams going back and forth with each other, coaches, kind of cooking a school in Oxford, Mississippi. You have not just Steve Sarkisian, but you have the man, the myth, the legend, the former Ole Miss Rebel head coach, Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin. Dogging, dogging Oxford, dogging Ole Miss.
yeah,
Talking about racial undertones and lack of diversity as issues why he couldn't recruit there. And Sarkisian saying, Ole Miss, all you need to do is basket weaving and you can get an Ole Miss degree.
that's crazy. That's actually
Let's just,
crazy.
Twitter blew up. Absolutely blew up. I think this was back on Monday. Um, yeah, so Ole Miss is taking some shots, taking some serious shots.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And here's the thing, right? We're not going to get into too deep of it, specifically with what Lane Kiffin had to say. But has that not been an issue for a lot of those schools down south?
It's the
Respectfully,
South. What do you
historically
expect?
speaking,
Yeah,
like that. I don't think that's just an. Now I understand other reasons why. Of course, you had the Confederate flag still a part of their state flag until the early 2020s, where they changed that. And I understand a lot of. I mean, you're talking about their nickname alone already could have an issue, but I feel like that's been an issue at other schools, not just Ole Miss down south either. I
yeah.
think that's kind of a thing historically with a good amount of those schools down there. But with Steve Sarkisian, basket weaving, isn't that what a lot of these school players nowadays go for degree wise? Think about Georgia.
If you go to the SEC, most of the time that's what you're doing. Like you're not going to Alabama for a degree. You're not going to Ole Miss for a degree or Mississippi State or any of these schools down south. Georgia has some decent
They
programs.
do, but here's the problem, Spencer. Georgia has like the lowest graduation rate out of any football program
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
country. So
They also really love speeding down there and drinking. So that might be what they're teaching down there in
oh,
Athens.
they're teaching drunk driving. Is that what they're doing?
I mean, yeah, with all the damn DUIs that these players are getting
Oh,
and all these speeding tickets, I mean, what else are they doing down there in Athens? It's a party town.
man.
No, it's I mean, like Missouri, Kentucky. No,
Kentucky's a
you're not.
decent school. Missouri's a decent school.
They're decent
Decent.
schools, but they're
Kentucky.
not like they're okay. They're the better of the SEC. I'll just say that they're like some of the better schools of the SEC. Texas A&M is probably number one just because of the engineering and everything that they have going on there with the military. Um, Florida has some decent programs, but like we don't need to get into that. It's the SEC. It's what they are. Like and
We love ball.
the whole comments about them not being a very um how do I put this? Not being wanting to be equal
Hmm.
to everyone
Yes.
is just being a part of the SEC. So
Just
yeah,
absolutely dogged the SEC there. Don't cancel us, Greg Sankey, please. Um, but seriously, yeah,
I hate the SEC. I like Texas A&M, and that's it. I hate the SEC.
I don't hate the SEC.
I do.
It's college
I hate
football. I
the
love
SEC.
college football.
You can
Although,
love what you want, and
eh,
the one team I love is Texas A&M. Other than that, I don't like the
you
SEC.
would love to be a part of their cheer squad. I see that in you. I know that's the real topic of conversation for some SEC folks on Twitter for sure. But
Go to Midnight Yell.
the midnight yell, yes.
Be a part of the cult that is Aggie Land.
Some people do say that that place is like that. Um,
Probably it's Texas. It's Texas and football.
Honestly,
What do you
I think
expect?
after this episode, I
Oh,
think the South is gonna just not like us anymore. Period.
I don't care.
That's
Good.
fair.
The Big Ten owns the South, or the Big Ten owns the SEC right now, and the Big Ten owns college football. I don't care.
I think the Big Ten owns
Um,
college sports right now. We just have
yeah,
what 10 national titles in
basketball,
the Big Ten.
both women's. I mean, UCLA and women's. I guess that's a Big Ten team. Technically, it is, but um, Michigan in men's basketball and Indiana in football.
You
So
had other
yeah,
sports too. I forget. I mean, probably volleyball. I would assume Big Ten wins. Um,
I know pistol. Ohio State won the Natty in pistol for like the sixth straight year. Like OSU wins the pistol Natty every single year. It's crazy.
Yikes. That's something.
Um,
That's something about Ohio. That tells a story.
I found the so based on the 2020 before we go, I found the 2025 season rankings with the new 2014 college football playoff field. So 1 through 8. So some of the matchups that we would have
Okay.
for this first round. Number 24 North Texas at number 9 Alabama.
I'm here for that.
Number 20 Tulane at number 13 Texas.
Okay.
Number 21 Houston at number 12 Miami.
Okay. That's a
Number
good game.
19 Michigan at number 14 Vanderbilt. Oh, could you imagine a playoff game at Vanderbilt?
Jared, I will say this: Jared Curtis is going to have Vandy in a playoff. Don't
Yes,
don't you don't you
I
sweat it
do.
eventually.
Good. The fact that we have Vandy getting 5-star quarterbacks is unbelievable.
What a world we live in.
22, my beloved Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets head to Provo to play the BYU Cougars.
Oh, shout out the Pop Tart Bowl. We would have the Pop Tart Bowl. That's
The
what I'm
Pop
talking
Tart
about.
Bowl is a playoff game.
Yes.
Number 23, Iowa State at number 10, Notre Dame. Number 18, Arizona at number 15, Utah.
Yes, that's a good one.
And then this game would be the winner to play Ohio State, number 17, Virginia at number 16, USC. So,
See, maybe the 2014 playoff isn't that bad after all.
nope, I don't need it. I don't
I
need
don't
it.
need it either. I
There
don't
are
need it
some
either.
good matchups. I'm not gonna lie. Like I bet Michigan Vanderbilt would be good. Georgia Tech and BYU. But no, I don't need it. I don't need this many teams.
I don't either. I don't either. It's fun, but you're losing the plot, like you said earlier. If you do this, if
Yep.
it's not if, it's when, because it just feels like it's a moot point to discuss if anymore about a
But
2014
if I
playoff.
can get a playoff game at was it First Bank Stadium there down there in Nashville,
Oh yeah,
we might need to have a conversation.
we might have to expand it to 36. Actually, I don't think
Just keep
24.
going.
I don't
You know
think
what?
24 is enough.
76. Let's get 76 teams in there, just
Nah,
like college
I
basketball.
need a
Let's
one.
just have have December madness.
Spencer, what it really needs to be. We just need to get rid of the regular season entirely. Start the year with a ranking of 1 to 138. That's how many teams are in the FBS right
So
now.
so
And
Ohio State versus, or no, it'd be so last season would be okay. Number one Ohio State. Who's the worst? Was it Kent State? No, it wasn't
probably
Kent State.
Kent State, Ball State,
Did
UMass, one
anyone
of
go
them, one of
0
the
and
MAC.
10 or did anyone go 0 and 12 last year?
Not one team.
No. I'm gonna look. Yeah,
I think
so
I think
of course,
Charlotte. I think Charlotte went 1 and 11.
that might be it then. Either them or Kent State. Either way. So yeah, like the bet line would be like OSU or Indiana minus 115 so and a half. So
Yes. And then Imperialism, as Bordeaux does it on his YouTube gaming channel, where you play the.
UMass. We forgot about UMass. They went 0 and 12.
Oh,
That's
they
why
did go 0 and 12.
I
I'm not gonna.
forgot the Minutemen didn't win a game.
I'm not gonna lie. UMass never wins, so that's why I just figured they may have gotten one in. I didn't know they went 0 and 12.
Buddy figured they regulated like Division 4.
Yes, yeah, Division 4 football. Wow. Okay. Are you ready for our trip to Amherst, Massachusetts this year?
We're getting a playoff game in Amherst.
I'm here for it. In fact, the higher seeds host. So you have Ohio State going to UMass. You have Alabama going to Jacksonville State. You have Georgia playing
What is it? McGurk Family
McGurk's. Yep,
Stadium.
McGurk.
McGurk Family Stadium is a cathedral of college football, and the Buckeyes would be lucky to get out of there alive.
Kent State's got to host somebody because we love Dicks
Stadium,
around here.
Dick's
We
Stadium.
love Dicks. I was just in Dicks. I was around Dicks. I was outside of Dicks. It was beautiful. Not really.
You were all in. You were
I
all
wa-
up in Dicks.
I was all up in Dicks, and it was fantastic. I
Left,
love
right,
Dicks.
sideways, upside down, all of it.
Absolutely, specifically perpendicular. I will
You were
say
sitting in Dicks.
I was sitting in Dick's Stadium. Yeah, I was sitting in Dick's Stadium, and it was fun to do that. I G-fed at Dick's Stadium last week. It was kind of nice.
Yeah.
The gates were open. I went in.
I think they were probably hoping you were a recruit.
Probably.
Probably saying, "Hey, can you play on the line or something like that? Can you
Probably.
be a tight end?"
Now, I will say this, the touch that I really liked was the tables around there. They have tables that honor Hall of Famers from Kent State. I think people don't realize, even though Kent State hasn't been good at all recently, except when we get to our MAC previews, they might be a little bit higher than people think heading into this year. They got one of the better quarterbacks. You think I'm on crack? Time will tell, buddy. You and I already know about our love for the MAC. I'm telling you right now, Kent State is going to be a little bit better than people think. Mark Carney's cooking up in Kent, Ohio. But
the MAC is going to be the best Group of 5 conference next year. Book it.
MAC imperialism. I'm here for it.
I don't care. We're going to get the MAC in the 12-team playoff.
I think people forget how many people played at Kent State or went to Kent State. Like, you had Gary Pinkel, you have Nick Saban, Josh Cribbs, of course, Julian Edelman. And obviously there's more. There's a lot more that I'm forgetting right now. Kent State's got history, man. They got some serious history. You're talking the area where you're talking football lore.
You're telling me Darius Clark isn't the best Kent State football player of all time?
Dree Archer, I think, would have a word for that. Seriously.
I remember the years when I went there when my sister would go to Kent State. They always had a family event game where you could go in for free. I mean, you should be able to go in for free to see that garbage team.
I went in for free on my own already.
I went for free to go see them play Monmouth one year. It was like 2017 or what year was it? Like 2017 or 2018. And they had a running back playing quarterback.
Probably lost.
So I got to see the triple option for 4 quarters. Yes. It was like watching a service academy, which shout out the service academies.
Yes.
But yeah, no. We were putting it in the atmosphere that Mike Jacobs is going to lead the Rockets to the playoffs. We are going to be a 12 seed at some point. If we would have gotten Braden Atkinson, it would have been this year, but he decided to go to, bum ass Oregon State. So
the fake OSU.
Yeah, what are you gonna do in the Pac-2?
It's not Pac-2, it's Pac-8, Pac-9
now.
the
Pac-8,
it's still the Pac-12.
It's the Pac-8 now.
It's Pac-8 for football, Pac-9 for basketball. Yeah, Oregon State. They still have Malik Murphy, who's probably going to be their starter, and Braden Atkinson ain't even going to start. Except
that's what I'm saying.
4.
Like, John Allen Richter, take us to the promised land, but like could have been something, Braden. You could have been something here in Toledo. You could have had your jersey retired. Could have had your jersey. It's okay.
It's all right.
Andrew Zock's he's gonna get 25 sacks.
He's going to get 25 sacks in the MAC, and CJ Miller is going to be a top 5 running back.
He's gonna
in the
be a
conference.
dog, dude. CJ Miller's gonna be a dog.
He's a bowling ball.
Love. Yes,
He's a bowling ball. He's a bowling ball with a lot of speed, and I really, really like. I've been saying this after I was there at the spring game. Haven't really been around to see more practices, but they're linebackers. They're linebackers.
Athletic.
Langston Long,
athletic.
Julian Fox. That duo is going to be nasty, I believe, for Toledo for next season. So I will put that out there in the online verse.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
We're winning the MAC. Toledo's gonna get it done this year.
As they get it done, you know what else the people at home need to get done since this episode
is over? They need to subscribe. They need to hit the like button. They need to follow us on all our social media platforms. They need to check out the Reels. They need to check out the TikToks. They need to push the push notification bell on and all that good stuff.
Yes, they do. We will see you guys next week with episode 32. We're going to be getting back into our conference breakdowns. We're going to the American Conference next week, by the way. Just a little.
The conference where Toledo's going to be in 2 years.
Exactly. We're going to that conference in the American. And then we're also next week, just a little look ahead, our spring edition B&B poll rankings are coming out. The spring rankings. Absolute cinema.
Bang.
Shout out Mike Breen. We will see you guys next week. Take care.
Please win tomorrow, Pistons. Please.
Take care. Peace out. It's not happening, Spence.